Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over a very interesting topic. It's going to be, is moderation okay for gaming? And this is specifically targeting those with a video game addiction and they're unsure of what action to take next. And it's honestly a very tough decision because you have two potential doorways you could go through: moderation or cold turkey. And let me just define each of these terms. Cold turkey refers to when you don't play any video games at all. Basically, you cut it out completely from your life. Whereas moderation refers to playing a little bit, or you're still doing it. It's pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. I don't think I really need to explain what moderation is, but basically, yeah. And this is a tough decision for most people because video games are inherently very fun because they give you a lot of dopamine, obviously, but also they're opportunities to connect with other people online in a virtual world. And you can build pretty strong connections sometimes. And just letting that all go, right? It's a bit daunting to most people, and it was to me when I was struggling with video game addiction. But it does have its benefits, but also I think there's more drawbacks in my opinion from moderation. And there's probably a way you can do it where you're not actually addicted, but I'll discuss that later. But basically, yeah, moderation. Let's go through my story with moderation. I actually played a lot of video games when I was little, and I played Tanky Online, Roblox, Clash of Clans, Fortnite. Those were some of my main games. I actually only used to play 10 minutes a day, but as time went on, I got more and more addicted. Tanky Online, I started clocking in around an hour a day. After I got home from school, did all my homework. Roblox, Clash of Clans increased a little bit more than Fortnite. This was basically the downfall of me, essentially. And I clocked in around 3 or 4 hours every single day, I'm pretty sure. Maybe more, I don't know. I was always on the game. I wasn't really doing anything else. But that was also when Fortnite was really popular, right? And it actually got worse and worse. So I actually knew I had a video game addiction a long time ago, but I didn't really take much action. I did decide to go with moderation for a while, right? Because it had gotten so out of hand. Fortnite was basically my life. In math class, I was thinking of 90s in Fortnite. I wasn't even focused in class. I couldn't focus in class because my mind was always on the video game, and I just really couldn't do anything about it. So I'm maybe I should do something, right? So I decided to come up with a plan. I would only play Fortnite on weekends and not including Fridays, so only Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, I went with that. So what happened was it kind of worked out, but the issue was that I never was really separated from the game. On the weekdays. It's not like I was doing any productive activities, because I recall myself playing a lot of just I don't even know if I played other games, to be honest, but I watched a lot of Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that, and I was very engaged with the Fortnite scene. I had followed so many content creators. I had a Twitch account where I would just watch Twitch live streams of Fortnite tournaments and stuff, and eventually it got pretty bad, right? I found myself actually I don't know, I'm oh, maybe Fridays should also count as the weekend, so technically it is the weekends. So then, yeah, I added another day to my playing time. And on the weekends, it's not I would play an hour or two. No, I would play 5 or 6 hours, 7, 8 hours. I was on the game the entire time. If I didn't have homework or anything, I'd always be playing the game. And it was honestly very problematic. And I realized that very, very late. This was probably very recent, to be honest. Fortnite was released in 2017, I believe. So yeah, in 2018, I started picking up, I actually started playing in early 2018, and this went on until I want to say 2022. Yeah, so I played Fortnite for around 4 years. It might have been 2020. I think it was 2022. Yeah, because 2023 I wasn't playing Fortnite, but it went all the way until the summer of 2022. So this was essentially 4 or 5 years of just my life just playing Fortnite. And it honestly got really bad when the pandemic came, right? So that was when everything kind of went downhill afterwards. And what happened there was it was very concerning, honestly, because once everything shut down, everybody was just at home for the entire time. And I just played games, honestly. I don't think I even did anything else. I dropped all my extracurricular activities. At the time, I did a little bit of many things, actually. I did a bit of taekwondo, I had piano lessons, I had swimming lessons, all lessons, right? And I was also kind of into cubing at that time, but I mean, cubing I didn't even hold on to because I found myself being a bit bored when I cubed. It wasn't really that interesting. And with Taekwondo, swimming, and piano lessons, I couldn't really do those because they required in-person classes, and obviously that was not possible during the time. So I found myself just having a lot of free time. I was like endlessly grinding Fortnite. This was like in 2020, and I just played the game like there was no tomorrow. And this is evident from the play time that I have on Fortnite, because I remember checking it one day, right? I went to the Epic Games launcher and I'm like, oh shoot, there's like 180 days or something. It was like 182. It was somewhere like 180s, somewhere there. And I converted that to hours. I'm like, that's over 4,000 hours. I'm like, that sounds a bit absurd to me. How do I spend so much time on it when I only played on weekends? And in reality, that's because even though I only played on weekends, I actually didn't always do that, because there would always be many loopholes that I found in this process. For example, right, like Fridays, I was like, initially I was like, oh, maybe to reduce time, I wouldn't play on Fridays. But then I added that into my schedule. That's another, like, when I get home from school, that's like around 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., you know, that's another 7 hours added in there. And oh yeah, holidays, right? Holidays, I'm home all the time, so I can just play all the time. I don't know, like the winter break, all these different kinds of like breaks from school, summer break, those are all just like long periods of time where I would play games, and it was really getting to me, right? So I'd be like on walks, and then I'd like be, oh wait, maybe I should go home and play. There's like the solo hype night or something, and I want to go home quickly to play in that tournament, but I won't be able to because I'm on a walk right now. So why not finish the walk quickly and get home as quick as possible? And I was like usually cutting out a lot of like meaningful activities, right, to play video games. Like when I was doing chores and stuff or homework, like I tried to get everything done as quickly as possible to create more time for gaming. And that's really the issue you run into with moderation, right? Because when you're trying to moderate your gaming, unless if you've actually found a way to make yourself not addicted to it, moderation isn't exactly going to help. And what do I mean by that? Because a person who isn't addicted to video games does not have that dependency to play them. But someone who's already addicted to video games, telling them to moderate is not the right first decision. I think it really comes down to, I've learned there's some game quitters, right? It's the 90-day detox, and this is one of the most helpful things I've done when I tried to quit gaming. And the whole reason why the 90-day detox works is because it kind of like resets the dopamine levels in your brain. Because right now, when you play a lot of video games, social media, all that kind of stuff, right? Like using your phone, you get a lot of dopamine because that's just based on how these applications are designed. And they're really designed to hook you. They have Fortnite, right? They have literal behavioral psychologists like waiting there to get you hooked to the game. And that's pretty much unavoidable no matter what you do. And taking a 90-day break from games really just allows those levels to reset, allows you to find new hobbies and interests, or like just focus in on your career path or whatever you choose to do, right? And having this break is honestly what you need to go with your next decision. So that's actually what I recommend. If you're addicted to video game, do the 90-day detox and see what happens after that. And once the 90-day ends, then you can come up with a decision. Do you want to quit completely, or do you want to moderate your gaming? So let me go through my thought process when I did this. I heard of the 90-day detox and I'm like, why not try it out, right? And at that time, let me give you some sort of context to where I was with my video game addiction journey, I guess you could say. Yeah, during that time, I was extremely addicted to video games. It had just been the end of the school year. I got good grades because, I mean, other than gaming, I pretty much just studied because it was kind of something I had to do. Didn't really have much of a social life at that time. I wasn't exactly like in the best spot of my life, and I only really found happiness when I gamed. And during this time, it was very difficult for me, right? And then I had nothing to do with their summer, so I kind of just waited it out. And once the school year ended, I went on the like ultimate Fortnite grind. This was like 10 to 16 hours a day. I think it was close to that because I remember just waking up, turning on the PC, and then I would just play, and then the day would end, and then it was like 11 p.m. and like I have to go to sleep. And I repeated this for around like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, I've had enough of this, right? This is just unacceptable. Okay, it was kind of a funny story. I think I mentioned it before, but like I reached Champs League. Or champion division, whatever you call it, right? In champs, right? That's basically when you get like, I don't even think Fortnite has this anymore. They have a new rank system, but back then it was arena. And if you reached 7,500 points, you got to this new division, right? and this is where you could play all the tournaments, FNCS, solo cash cups, duo cash cups, stuff like that, right? And they actually added this new feature where you could D-rank out of this division. So basically, like, if you drop under this threshold, you would basically drop to Division 7 or a contender division, and Champs was Division 8, right? And I was trying to help my friend get to Champs, but in the process itself, I dropped out of Champs to like 7,200 points from 7,500, and I kind of like, I was a little bit upset. I kind of like rage quit Fortnite at the time, and I just like uninstalled the game, right? And then that's after that I discovered, like, I don't know, I guess maybe some rational decision of mine decided maybe YouTube is the best resource for this. So I discovered Game Quitters, and they really helped me out a lot, right? With the 90-day detox and just a lot of the approaches that I could take to my game quitting journey. So I'm really thankful for them. And yeah, so once I did the 90-day detox, like by the end of it, like I actually didn't like delete my Epic Games account because I was like really hesitant, right? So this is the thing you have to realize. When you're doing the 90-day detox, before deciding like if you want to quit or if you want to moderate gaming, you have to really be cognizant of what's going on. Because at that time, I actually, like, I didn't feel right like deleting my Fortnite account, right? It had so many skins. It had like basically my entire, a large part of my childhood in there. So I was like, this is not great, right? And after the 90 days, it gave me more clarity, because the thing is, before you decide to moderate or quit gaming, you need to know what life is like without gaming, because you don't really have a comparison of what it is. And once the 90-day passes, then it's up to you if you want to quit or moderate. But just do be careful. Moderation, it's kind of like a dead end. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I personally would not recommend it, because it's just honestly a bit of like it's something that you want to do because you want to play video games, but it's pretty hard to get into the point where you're actually like moderating gaming and it's not like completely taking over your life. And honestly, like, from what I've realized, like, quitting gaming is it's a lot easier too. It really takes a lot of like mental capacity to be able to moderate gaming on a daily basis without it getting out of hand, right? Because remember, I did video game moderation for like 3 or 4 years. I literally only played on weekends, which is already like pretty strict if you ask me. Most people, they try to aim for an hour a day, but that kind of like, I guess you could say it like, I thought it ruined the fun, right? And plus, it's literally, if you've ever tried to keep track of your gaming time, it's literally impossible to play for just an hour a day. I literally had like time logs down of like when I would start and end, and it would always be like really bad. It was just really, really problematic. And especially if you have a game like Fortnite, like, you're not playing an hour a day of that if you've got a video game addiction. It's just, you have to really find other aspects of your life that feel fulfilling to you. But in order to do that, you have to get rid of gaming at least for a short period of time first. So honestly, I think that's the best thing to do. There are alternative options. I do really like what Healthy Gamer suggests on his YouTube channel. He was talking about competing interests and how you develop those, right? Like, you basically have to, like, just something else that you're just as passionate about as gaming, but you have to actually, in my opinion at least, but I think this is like more of a shared opinion among people who have quit video games, is that you have to get rid of gaming first and then immediately like replace it with something else. You can't replace it with something else without quitting gaming, because the dopamine levels are just way too high, right? I've actually tried this. I've tried to like play the piano, do cubing and stuff like that when I was still playing video games, that they were just so boring to me. They felt like absolutely meaningless. After like maybe 10 minutes, I would just like be like, why don't I just play video games instead? This is like such a waste of my time, right? Because just how much dopamine gaming gives you, it's absolutely like impossible. Honestly, I would say it's impossible to just find another interest that's just right for you that's not gaming, right? Because you can't really get rid of it like that. So you really need like a good approach to quitting gaming, and it really has to come with a plan, and you have to be like very strategic. You can't be like looking for shortcuts. Oh, like maybe if I just like do some moderation, it'll work fine, because that's not what's going to cure your video game addiction. Your video game addiction is only cured when you no longer find video games to be fulfilling. And that's kind of like the hard pill you have to swallow, I guess, right? It's not really like a straightforward path. There's so many challenges that come comes along the way, and it's just not something that you can like take lightly. It's not something that you can just kind of like do like half-heartedly, if that's even a word. Well, like, what I'm trying to say is like, it's not an easy pathway. It's not something you can just kind of like go with the flow with. You have to really be strategic with your plan and what you want to do when you try to quit gaming. So that's really all for the moderation thing. And if that was helpful, consider liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.